Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, today we're diving straight in, no messing around. It's high stakes right from the jump.
Absolutely. Imagine this. Reno, our main guy, he's literally just rushed out of the Peruvian jungle. He was hunting jaguars, apparently.
Yeah, drops everything, flies to Waynesport on the Gulf Coast, only to find his sister, Vicky Shane, arrested for murder.
And not just any murder. The victim is Reno's close friend, a lawyer named McHugh. So it's a terrible homecoming. The situation looks really grim.
The police seem convinced they've got their woman. The lieutenant on the case, he calls it a hell of a case.
Even a DA's dream. That's how confident they are.
And, when you first look at the physical evidence they've gathered, you kind of see why.
They think they have a clear motive.
Yeah.
Jealousy. McHugh was seen with another woman, this stray babe, quote-unquote, about an hour before he died.
Right. Then there's the physical side. Vicky was in the hotel room. She admits hearing the shot.
And here's the kicker. A broken gun found 14 floors below the window.
Yeah, that looks really bad. Like she panicked and threw it out. Classic move to ditch evidence.
So Reno's facing an uphill battle, a really steep one. The whole defense hinges on Vicky's story.
Which is?
She says she was in the bathroom, heard the shot, yes, but before that she heard a man's voice in the room with McHugh.
Okay, so if there was a man, he's the killer, and Vicky's been framed. That's Reno's mission.
Exactly. And it's our mission for this deep dive, too. Figure out if this man was real, find him, and clear Vicky.
But the police, they're not buying it. They had one other potential lead, right? Something McHugh himself was looking into.
Yeah, a really thin lead. Turns out McHugh, the lawyer, had suddenly started playing detective right before his death. He was frantically trying to track down some guy named Rupert Conway.
And the police just dismissed it.
Pretty much. Seemed irrelevant to the supposed domestic dispute.
So our job, following Reno, is to trace that thin lead. Because if Vicky's telling the truth, this Conway guy, he has to be connected.
He's the key. Let's unpack it. Where does Reno start?
With Vicky, obviously. He needs her exact account of that night.
And she confirms it. McHugh was completely wrapped up in finding this Conway person, but then she drops a bombshell about the motive.
The stray babe.
Yeah. Vicky says the woman wasn't a romantic interest at all. She was there because she had information for McHugh. Information about Conway.
Whoa, hang on. That completely changes things. If she was a source.
The jealousy motive just collapses. Gone.
Did Vicky know her name?
No, but she gave a really good description. Striking brunette, jet black hair cut short, and a dimple. Very specific.
Okay, so the killer isn't a jealous wife. The killer is somehow tied to whatever McHugh was digging into about Conway.
Precisely. So Reno's next move is obvious. Find McHugh's client. The person who hired him to find Conway in the first place.
Mrs. Conway. She'd come to Waynesport looking for her husband, Rupert.
Right. And this is where McHugh's own detective work starts paying off, even after his death.
What did Mrs. Conway tell Reno?
She said Mac McHugh had found Rupert Conway's car. It had been sitting in a tow-away zone, impounded since July 22nd.
Okay, a lead. But what's the significance?
Here's the crucial bit. Mac had sent Mrs. Conway a telegram asking a very specific question. Did the car have a trailer hitch when Rupert left San Francisco?
A trailer hitch? Why? Okay, let me guess.
The answer was no. It didn't have one when he left.
But Mac found one on the impounded car, newly installed.
Bingo. That one detail just blows the missing person idea out of the water. Why would you secretly install a trailer hitch?
To tow something. Something you didn't want anyone knowing about.
Exactly, like a boat. Easy to get lost down in those Gulf Coast bayous.
And the police completely missed this, focused only on Vicky.
Seems like it. That trailer hitch is, well, it's kind of a smoking gun pointing away from Vicky.
But it gets crazier, right? Because someone realizes Mrs. Conway is now talking to Reno, digging into this.
Oh, yeah. She gets a mysterious phone call. Someone tells her to go meet them way out at a place called Council Bayou.
Sounds like a trap.
It was. Reno suspects something's off, follows her, and sure enough, a man in another car forces her off the road, tries to drown her in a canal, uses a rifle to keep her pinned down.
Jeez. So this confirms it. The killer is still active, still local, and desperate to silence anyone who knows about Conway.
McHugh wasn't just a random victim. His murder was part of something bigger, an ongoing cover-up.
Okay, so Reno must be thinking, I'm onto something huge here. What's next?
He goes back through McHugh's files, his correspondence, and he finds it. Mac had contacted an old friend at the FBI
About Conway.
about a known associate of Conway's, and that's when the penny drops, the name Rupert Conway. It was fake.
An alias. So who was he really?
Robert Counsel. Counsel.
Like the bayou where Mrs. Conway was attacked? Counsel Bayou?
The very same. Reno puts it together why Mac asked Mrs. Conway about her husband's past, the details. He looks at her and says, "Your husband's name wasn't Conway."
Wow. Okay, so this Robert Counsel. Who is he? We need background.
The FBI report gives us quite the picture. He came from money, apparently quite brilliant, but with, let's call it general snottiness.
Entitled.
Very. Had a rough time in World War II, though. Busted from sergeant down to private, then court-martial in Italy, 1946.
For what?
Black market operations, big time. Stolen cigarettes, medical supplies. Serious stuff. He did time for it, got out in 51.
So not just entitled, but a serious criminal operator. Did they say what happened to the money he made?
No, that's the weird thing. Authorities knew he'd made thousands, but they never found it.
Huh. What did they find? Anything unusual?
Just one odd item when they searched his room back in Italy, a vacuum pump.
A vacuum pump. That's random. Why would a black marketeer need that?
Well, think about it. If you're smuggling something valuable, something sensitive, maybe currency, maybe documents, maybe other things you want to protect it
From air, moisture,
Yeah.
protection.
Exactly. You'd vacuum seal it. That pump isn't random. It suggests a very carefully planned, potentially large-scale shipment of something. It's a clue hiding in plain sight.
Okay, that's creepy. What about the timeline? Why did Counsel or Conway end up in Waynesport now?
Mrs. Conway provides that link.
Right.
She said her husband became obsessed with the local Waynesport newspaper, the Waynesport Express. He'd been reading it even back in San Francisco.
Okay.
And he finally decided to come to Waynesport after reading something specific in the July 12th edition.
The July 12th paper. That's the trigger. We need to know what was in that paper.
Absolutely. But it also gives Reno a place to go physically investigate now.
Counsel Bayou. Named after the family.
Right. So Reno heads down there, pretends he's just there to fish, checks into a place called Gulf Breeze Camp.
And who does he bump into almost immediately?
Patricia Lasseter, the striking brunette with the dimple, the woman from the hotel with McHugh.
No way. Okay, so she's definitely involved. What else does Reno learn down there?
He starts hearing the local gossip about Robert Counsel, confirms the picture. Reckless rich kid, a princeling they called him, and crucially, an explosives expert.
An explosives expert. Okay, that adds a dangerous layer.
But there's more. He learns about a guy named Max Easter, lives on the bayou, powerful local figure, also an explosives expert.
A rival.
A bitter rival. Apparently, years ago, Counsel ran off with Easter's wife. The whole affair ended tragically with her suicide.
Oh, man. So Max Easter has a huge personal motive to want Counsel dead, like decades of simmering hatred.
A massive motive. Could Easter be the killer? Did he finally get his revenge and then kill McHugh to cover it up? It fits.
Meanwhile, someone was actively covering tracks in the bayou, right?
Definitely. Reno finds evidence of that boat trailer, the one suggested by the hitch submerged underwater. But then, the very next day...
After he talked to Patricia Lasseter.
Right after. The trailer's gone. Moved, clearly by boat, during the night.
And then Reno gets attacked.
Yep. Knocked out cold in his cabin. Someone searched the place. They know he's poking around. They're desperate.
Okay, things are getting really tense. Reno needs answers from Patricia Lasseter.
He drives her into town and confronts her, calls her out, and she cracks.
She admits Lasseter isn't her real name.
No. Her real name is Patricia Devers. D-E-V-R-S.
Devers. Okay, so she's not just a source. She has her own agenda here.
A very personal one. Her brother, Carl Devers, and his friend, Charles Morton, vanished back in May.
May. What happened?
They got these strange letters, one postmarked from Italy, and told her they were heading down to the Gulf Coast, supposedly for a fishing trip. Carl's last postcard was dated May 9th.
Patricia connects their disappearance to something else.
Yes, a mysterious boat explosion that happened locally on May 10th. 2 men died, never identified. The boat belonged to a local guy.
Let me guess. Red hair. Friendly with Patricia at the camp.
Hutch Griffin. You got it. Patricia suspects her brother and his friend were the unidentified victims on Griffin's boat.
Wow. Okay, so this goes back months. May 10th explosion, missing brother. How does Counsel fit into May?
Reno connects the dots. Remember Mrs. Conway said Counsel wouldn't fly back from Italy with her?
Right, he took a slow freighter instead. The Silver Cape.
Guess when the Silver Cape arrived in the Waynesport Channel? May 11th.
The day after the explosion.
Precisely. The explosion happened just as Counsel's ship was coming up the channel. He must have thrown something overboard right then. Something illegal he couldn't fully through customs.
And the explosion was a diversion. Or related somehow.
Maybe both. But the crucial thing is why counsel came back in July. That article in the July 12th Waynesport Express.
What would it say?
It announced that the shipping channel was scheduled to be dredged.
Dredged. Oh, my God. So, whatever counsel threw overboard in May.
Was about to be scooped up by the dredging operation and probably lost forever out at sea. He had to come back to get it.
That tiny newspaper notice brought him back to Waynesport and walking right into a trap. That is incredible.
The whole deadly chain reaction started by a routine dredging announcement. It's the perfect criminal blind spot.
But who killed him? We still have Max Easter, the guy with the lifelong grudge.
Reno confronts Easter, and Easter confesses. Partly, he did find counsel's body, shot in the stomach.
But Easter didn't shoot him.
No. Easter claims he just found him. But given their history, he knew he'd be the prime suspect. So, to protect himself.
He buried counsel's body and got rid of the car and the trailer.
Exactly. Easter's guilty of covering up a murder, a major crime, but he wasn't the actual killer.
Which leaves
Hutch Griffin, the owner of the exploded boat, the man whose name came up connected to Patricia's missing brother.
So Reno and Patricia figure the cash, whatever counsel threw overboard, must be near where that boat exploded in May.
They head back out to the bayou, to that spot, thinking they can find it.
But it's another trap.
Yep. Griffin captures them both. He was waiting.
And he admits everything.
Pretty much lays it all out. He was counsel's partner back in Italy in the black market days. Counsel double-crossed him on the profits. Griffin tracked him down to Waynesport.
Shot him when he came back for the loot.
And then killed McHugh because the lawyer was getting way too close, figuring out the Conway counsel identity switch.
So what was the loot? What was counsel smuggling?
Griffin recovered it. 2 heavy containers, shaped like melons, made of lead. Lead pigs, he calls them, tied together with wire mesh.
And inside, what was worth all this death?
2 things. First, the source of the black market cash. $250,000 worth of pure heroin.
Heroin. Wow. Explains the vacuum pump clue from way back. He needed to seal it perfectly.
Exactly. But the second thing, high explosives.
Wait, explosives and heroin in the containers?
Counsel, the explosives expert, booby-trapped his own treasure, a deadly insurance policy.
So Griffin has the containers, but he doesn't know which one has the heroin and which one will blow up in his face.
Precisely. He's terrified. So he forces Reno at gunpoint to open one of them, right there on a tree stump.
Okay, this is the climax. Reno's life on the line. He can't overpower Griffin.
He has to outthink him. And he remembers counsel's background, the explosives, but also where those containers have been sitting.
Underwater. Deep underwater in the channel since May.
Right. 30 feet down. Reno realizes counsel, for all his brilliance with bombs, made one critical mistake. He forgot about the environment.
You mean the water pressure, hydrostatics.
Exactly that. Explain that for us. Why would water pressure matter to a sealed container?
Well, even the best sealed container, like those lead pigs, sitting under 30 feet of water for months, the pressure is immense, constant. It will eventually find the tiniest imperfection, a microscopic flaw in a seal, a solder joint.
And force water inside.
Slowly, maybe, but inevitably.
Yeah.
A little bit of water gets in.
And what does water do to the delicate electronics of a detonator?
Yeah.
Especially one relying on a battery.
It shorts it out, kills the circuit, the booby trap is dead.
Brilliant. So Reno, stalling for time, carefully starts cutting into the lead pig. And what does he see?
Water, oozing out, confirmation, the bomb is a dud.
But Griffin doesn't know that yet.
No, so Reno bluffs. He acts shocked, says he's found 2 triggers, makes it sound incredibly dangerous. He forces Griffin to lean in close, to look at the cut himself.
Luring him closer.
Exactly. Griffin steps forward, peers down, sees the water seeping out. And in that instant, he realizes the bomb is inert. The threat is gone. He starts to bring his rifle up.
But Reno's ready. He tackles him. Game over.
Amazing. Just like that, the case is solved.
And it all unraveled by chasing the ghost of Rupert Conway, tracing back McHugh's own investigation. Vicky Shane is cleared, completely exonerated.
So, stepping back, what does this all really mean? We started with what looked like a simple, tragic domestic murder. Jealousy, a thrown gun.
And ended up uncovering this massive international plot stretching back years. WWII, black markets, $250,000 in heroin, aliases, double crosses.
All brought to a head because of one tiny detail in a local newspaper about dredging a channel. That's the linchpin that caused the whole thing to implode.
It really is. And the final irony, Robert Counsel. This super smart, arrogant explosives genius, his elaborate plan, his deadly booby trap, it wasn't defeated by the police or a rival or even Reno's deductions ultimately.
It was defeated by basic physics, by water pressure, something he completely overlooked when he hid his treasure.
Makes you think, doesn't it? How often are these grand, complex schemes, criminal or otherwise, undone by the simplest, most fundamental detail that someone just forgot? Something to chew on.
Absolutely. Thanks for diving deep with us on this one.